Hi guys, I wanted to share with you a little bit of yoga for troubled wrists. So I wanted to start with a little bit of a release. So you can do simple movements, joint movements, but I also wanted to show you a simple release that you can do yourself. You're going to take one hand around your wrist, you're going to make a fist, tight fist, and hold on tight as you start to slowly turn the wrist. All right, so what you're doing is you're putting the skin on the drag of the wrist that you're working on. So you're holding on tight with one hand and then you're turning. So as you do that, you're gonna create a little more blood flow. If it's working, then you'll see that your wrist is sort of turning red. Right, so that's just a release. There's a band of connective tissue, right, that we're trying to just kind of help loosen up a little bit. So the heat of your hand and that sort of grabbing on tight and turning, putting the skin on the drag, loosens that up a little bit. That's the first one. The second one is you're going to take your wrist, you're going to take the thumb of the other hand and press it down into your wrist, kind of right in the middle there. And then you're going to start to fold. So there's a bone that sort of sticks out on your wrist there. So you're going to be sort of on the finger side of that bone. Push down with your thumb with enough pressure as though you were going to put a dent in a tennis ball. And you push down and then start to fold. And again, you're putting the skin on the drag. And what happens is you're going to sort of drag up toward the fold of your elbow. And you can kind of do a couple passes there closer toward that bone on the wrist, and then a little bit in the middle, and then a little closer to the thumb side. Right? So press and fold. So you are putting pressure on that area. And then you can shake it out. Okay, so you do the same thing on the other side. Hold on tight and then turn. Do a few rounds like that. Right? And then you're going to push and fold. And so you can help give yourself a little bit of release. The other thing I want to do is just show you the idea of a couple things you can do as you're in your yoga practice that will help to avoid pain and pressure in the wrist. So let's say one other thing before I move to the yoga mat. So full range of motion for wrist extension is 80 to 90 degrees. So it's not necessarily going to be the full 90-degree fold for everybody naturally. So it's 80 to 90 degrees, which is full range of motion. So if your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, that's pressing to the full 90, right? If you're not at that, then you're putting pressure and going beyond what feels normal for your own wrist. So one thing that you can do is to move your hand a little bit more forward. So what that looks like from all fours is instead of your hands being directly under your shoulders, you could try one hand's distance further forward. Okay, and you can kind of just see how that is going to decrease the angle at the wrist. Another thing that you can do is instead of being on your hands, you can be on your forearms. Now you can be on your forearms for plank pose or for downward dog. Right? You can kind of transition in and out of coming onto your forearms as you move in and out of your yoga poses. So those are just a couple of tips for helping out if you have trouble with the wrists, if you're feeling uncomfortable putting weight on your hands, right? You can come to the forearms. Another just good thing to know is you might actually feel more comfortable to be in for plank pose. Feel free also to lower the knees and lower your body down instead of slowly coming to like a chaturanga, right? So lower the knees and just lower your body down, okay? All righty, so that's a couple of things. I hope that is helpful to if you have any wrist issues, and you can use that to help you in your yoga practice. Thanks, guys. Mwah.